Romy, Kirsty Baby's here, and I'm losing my mind a little bit because 4 years worth of notes from my notes app have vanished. So I'm going to sew so I don't fall into dismay. So if you've watched my brewing things in my kitchen, the video where I seemed to be having some kind of meltdown, I spent about 3.5 hours working on that video and set it up to export overnight. And when I got up the next morning, it was still trying to export. This usually takes about 10 minutes max. So I shut down iMovie because it was not responding, and I opened it up again and all of the data had gone! I spent another 3.5 hours working out how to recover that. And I was able to get most of it, and by that point, you maybe realise that I had given up, because I had. Fast forward to yesterday. I work freelance all the time, and I pulled up my notes app to get some really important information for work, and it was all gone! 4 years worth of notes, including, you know, really important financial data that I had in there. Scripts, ideas, thoughts, you know, some random shit. 4 years worth, like 100 plus notes. There's no way of getting it back. I've tried everything. I'm trying one final thing now to see if, and I'm on the verge of just crying. So I thought, what better way to distract myself while this final thing determines my fate than to make like 46 crop tops. I'm that stressed. Like, you know, it's bad if I turn to sewing to relax. To be fair, I love sewing if I am not following a pattern. If I'm following a pattern, it's a nightmare. But about a week ago, I made this from a pattern in my head, and I absolutely love it. It's like my favorite thing to wear. So I found 4 different types of material that I want to make the same thing in. So I'm going to do that. The materials that I'm going to be working with today are the leftover scrap from this. Don't talk to me about that, but you know, maybe it'd be nice to wear something that isn't extremely difficult to get on. I also have this because I'm a mushroom kid and I want mushrooms on my body. A very hungry caterpillar, just polka dots, and then with an actual caterpillar on it. I don't even need to hem this. It's pre-hemmed. Joy? I don't know her. And then there's also this, which is the cutest. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it so much. So I'm gonna make a dozen crop tops. And all will be right with the world. Hope for the best. It's hours later and I have done nothing but fret over my laptop. Everything's gone. So that happened, and now I'm gonna make something to make myself feel better, but I also 90% booked in Italian for next week, so that is also making me feel better, but there's a dread in my body. You really only need material. You can use the same material for the straps. I didn't last time. I will on some of these. Some elastic, unless you're really good at like sharing, which I'm not, and the ability to sew. So these are super, super simple. I need a break from the Sesame Street fabric, so that's not going to be first. It's going to be the Hungry Caterpillar. I'm going to be the rainbowest rainbow. I think I'll start with this one. I really love that I'm not going to have to hem this. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. I literally just made up the pattern in my head. For the fairy one, I actually got the material from the op shop and it was pre-cut into the square, so I just stitched them all together. This is like normal material that hasn't been butchered, so I don't have to do that because it's all in one piece. But also I do really love the flouncy way that it all like kicks out when it's together. So I'm going to do a couple of different ones.
After discovering that Twilight is in fact a cinematic masterpiece, I was disappointed in New Moon. It was not up to the standard. Like I said, there's literally so many ways to do this. Maybe even like 2. Cut some shorter bits. Sorry, I blanked. Cut some shorter bits of fabric and stitch them right sides facing with the ends open, and then you've got your straps. Then you can either get a massive piece of fabric and cut it to the length you want, stitch it together, do the hems, Bob's your proverbial. Or, my favourite option, you can make more work for yourself and just cut out a bunch of squares, stitch them all together, hem both ends, and when you hem the top end, do what I like to call a casing. I know what that means now, where you just don't stitch up the end of the hem. Then you pretend to be Beatrix Potter for a while with the wild rabbit that is now your pet. Push some elastic through the casing and stitch it together so it doesn't just do nothing, while you have a newfound appreciation for Beatrix Potter's attention span, because rabbits are really distracting. And then break a needle. You're done. Just like that. It's totally worth it. Yeah!
I have worn this one already, so it does have cat hair on it. I also did the elastic a little bit too tight, so it just needs a quick little mend, but this is pure joy. I just want to be bedecked in this specific piece of material, head to toe. Hungry Cat jumpsuit. Oh, dreamy. This one is super cute. I don't know why it's gone so fluffy, but I kind of love it. It's like a tutu for your chest. I think I might add some kind of like organza as a second layer though, because if I lift my hands up, my boobs are out. The joy that I get when a rainbow is in my presence is unmatched. Matched only by my baby Cassie. I love rainbows so much. Also, a boiler suit in this would be... And this one, why I love it. But I'm also incensed by how easy this was when the Sesame Street dress was anything but. So those are all of the tops I made, and a little skirt too. I lost all of the notes on my laptop. Unfortunately, I could not work out a way of getting them back. I still have this hope in my heart that one time I'll just open notes and they'll all be back. But I guess you'll just never know the exact dollar markage of what I spent on this renovation, because I had it written out there and that was the only place I had all of the data saved. So I know the ballpoint, but I don't know the exact number, and that is one of the worst losses to me.